just one sec, because I think it's super important to understand. Scott, what was happening in April of this year, 2025? What was happening then? What did the president announce on that week, the first week of April? What did he announce?
The president was implementing
what did he announce, Scott?
Tariff agenda.
And what were those tariff levels?
And well, they were different for different countries.
Okay, so
but every single person predicted calamity.
Scott.
Calamity.
Scott, you can't skip steps here.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to yesterday's news channel, where we keep track of how often Abby Phillip interrupts a conservative on CNN's NewsNight, so you don't have to. Wow, 6 interruptions in 26 seconds there. I think I was being generous with the scoring. And by the way, she asked the question and didn't let Scott finish a sentence. Thought that was bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. Now, we all know how a panel should go. Respectful question, thoughtful answer, no interruptions. But that's not the norm if you're conservative on NewsNight, mainly due to the moderator, Abby Phillip herself. Let me show you an unmistakable trend of what happens on this show when a conservative tries to bring some logic and reason to the conversation. I've put together a little compilation. Hey, my first one. Very exciting. Let's go.
I think the Democratic Party is a real, as an investor, I almost want to buy into their stock now. They couldn't be worse. This stock is zero. And you'd almost think if you're going to have some kind of a balance.
Than just moments where we have had massive leaps forward in the way we treat each other in this country. I agree with Batya. Where we sit today is vastly different than where we sat in the 1960s or the 1920s or the 1860s.
Anybody's disputing that.
And it's not even close.
I don't know, but I don't think anybody's just
started doxing these ICE agents, posting their personal information, posting where their families are, posting where their kids' schools are, putting them and their families in jeopardy. And he doesn't want them to have to do it.
That is a risk that every law enforcement officer in this country faces.
Trying to find the sweet spot with countries and industries. And he said today there will be no more extensions past April.
What happens when those National Guard troops use those weapons against American citizens?
Well, you're assuming that they're, in the way that you phrase that is like they're just going to randomly shoot Americans.
No,
they may actually have to shoot a criminal.
Listen,
I'm murderer,
asking,
someone that pulls a gun on them. That happens every day in America.
If that's what he's claiming. He says that for the first time in their lives, people can use parks in Washington, D.C. They can go out to dinner in Washington, D.C. Brad, I don't know if you live in D.C. or in the nearby surroundings, but that is factually untrue. That is not true.
You could use parks before, and you could go out to dinner.
Yeah,
now,
you could wear jewelry. You could wear your watches.
But you're deflecting, though, Abby.
100% in the New York Times and the Washington Post, and the word slavery itself exponentially skyrocketed as a percentage of words. I'm offering this only to suggest.
I understand. I'm just wondering what do you think is the problem?
Looks to me like he's planning to just humiliate this person for the next 8 months and make him into a miserable person. And you know what? He deserves it, because he should have lowered interest rates. A. B. I'm not sure the Fed's done all that great of a job over time since Powell has been in, even though Trump did first appoint him.
I mean, even though
so maybe he deserves a little of the political
I'm curious
theater
about that, Scott, because
without a murder in Washington, D.C. in August, the heat of the summer, that never happens. This is going to be the lowest number of murders in August on record.
That actually is not true.
We're changing the goalposts,
and that's a lie.
It says in plain text what Russia did in the election, and then you want to punish them for what people believe?
Yes, I want to punish them and investigate them.
That is absolutely wrong.
Donald Trump believes in this. And I suspect there is going to be some tariff strategy over the entire first term. And
But Scott, I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
Right. Yeah, that's my question.
I trust the president to deal with Canada and Mexico.
Okay, but do you think it's a good idea to
understand why? I understand that there are threats against them, and they have to also protect their safety in what is a very volatile world, whether ICE is enforcing immigration laws or not.
But don't you think, look, rank and file, what should happen now to stop this from your perspective as a Republican?
Sure. Well, I think the first question you have to ask is, why did it happen? I don't think it happened because of guns. I think it happened because somebody who was clearly suffering from severe mental illness
had access to weapons that would allow them to carry out a terrible shooting.
Obviously, they've gone to court to ask a judge on the grand jury that they've run into a roadblock there. They've got the deputy attorney general interviewing Maxwell. I don't know what they can and will release, but I have no problem with whatever transparency they come up with.
They have many gigabytes of files in their possession that they've.
Is this about
what the intelligence community concluded, or is it about what you think the public believes? Are those two things the same, or are they different?
Abby, why would they believe
Because
it if
I
they
do
weren't
think
told
that
that
if
by
you
their
are
government?
accusing people,
They were told that by the White
if you are
House.
accusing people of crime, slap 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and then take them off and then put them back on and take them
And
off.
what happens in a year? What happens in a year? I'm curious from a.
Everybody yell at me, then I'll
I'm
answer.
not yelling at you. Cut it out. Don't do that to me.
Everybody
Don't
go,
do
and
it.
then I'll answer one at a
Don't do
time.
it, Scott.
That they made up like the Russian hoax and they used information to go after Donald Trump to try to undermine his entire presidency.
Okay.
And they all signed their names
Are you going to give me a
it.
second to talk or no?
No, but
Well, there it is. Abby Phillip cutting off conservatives again and again. It's not moderation, as I've mentioned many times on this channel. It's narrative protection. What you just watched in clip after clip, that's the rule on NewsNight with Abby Phillip. And by the way, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I've got enough footage of Abby interrupting to make 100 videos, and believe me, more are coming, whether people like them or not. It's just too good. Now, as you know, I'm the world-leading expert on Abby Phillip interruptions, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that this compilation is evidence of that. But what do you guys think? Is she doing this on purpose? Is she just a terrible host, or maybe a little bit of both? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this video. Go subscribe to yesterday's news channel on Rumble. Even if you don't watch it, do me a favor. Don't forget to follow me on X because I have so many interesting things to say. And subscribe to my second channel, The Dispatch Wire. Otherwise, I have the best viewers on the planet. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Always put God first. I'll see you guys.
I think the Democratic Party is a real, as an investor, I almost want to buy into their stock now. They couldn't be worse. This stock is zero. And you almost think if you're going to have some kind of a balance.
Than just moments where we have had massive leaps forward in the way we treat each other in this country. I mean, I agree with Batya. Where we sit today is vastly different than where we sat in the 1960s or the 1920s or the 1860s.
Disputing that.
And it's not even close. It's
I
not
don't know,
even
but I don't
close.
think anybody's just.
People started doxing these ICE agents, posting their personal information, posting where their families are, posting where their kids' schools are, putting them and their families in jeopardy. And he doesn't want them to have to do it.
That is a risk that every law enforcement officer in this country faces.